Welcome in, guys, to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. This your boy JustCMTexx. I'm back, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the tier list for January, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Well, like I said, once again with the tier list, so we have our D, C, and B rank Toons. Now, there is an inherent issue with this tier list, and the reason why there's an issue is because some of these Toons that newer players can be able to use and get to be able to play with, just to get their account started off so it doesn't feel like things are hopeless. There's no way to access some of these Toons, but these guys are very, very good. Like, for example, Titan, who could help with normalize in the beginning if you're just getting started with a fresh account. He is pretty strong. Axel is good as well too as a devastating blow Toon, to be able to help put some heal reduction out there as well. But then you have some other Toons on this list that you can get your hands on, such as Easter Eva. She is in the Gold Mythic Will. You can be able to get your hands on her. But guys like Martinez, Tyrese, Jesus 2000, these pretty much are Toons that you can't get your hands on. But if you do get your hands on them and you're just starting out with a fresh account, they're really good. Of this bottom of the tier list rank, we have B rank, which is Hang In. Now, Hang In can be as high as the S tier list, depending on the setup you have, and he really will shred a lot of the weaker defenses, but with the meta being switched maybe 2 or 3 times the last couple months, he's just fallen out of that rotation, and there are other Toons in the rotation that are very strong that we're definitely going to get into. And we have 2 new tiers as well too, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that in a few here. But this is the D list. C list here. Duck is pretty good, because he applies crosshairs and you could be able to decap as well there. So you have this here amongst your lower tier Toons. Now, Andre still has some viability on the defensive end, not as much as he used to, but like I said, these are Toons that you can be able to get in challenge run if you play your way through challenge run. So it's a couple of these you can get your hands on as far as the Gold Mythic Will goes. But there needs to be a place where these Toons, especially these older Toons, are reran in a wheel, but and the wheel is not expensive. I know some of these were paid Toons and some of them were mythic legend Toons that you can only get in certain cases, but I still think that these guys should be available for newer players to be able to get. So this is the D, C, and B tier list rank. At one time, Peacekeeper was a problem, and still for some newer accounts he is a problem. So if you can get your hand on him, you definitely want to get your hand on Peacekeeper. He is good for the new accounts as well too. So let's go ahead and we're gonna move up to this A tier list rank. We're gonna look at A, and we're gonna look at our S rank tier list, man. So on this A tier list, okay, let me tell you the concept behind the Toons that are on the A tier list. These are pretty much like a support Toons, or Toons that can be in a lead position that you can put in a team, and then they'll be great in a certain setup. So for example, we have Ty here and we have a Zachary, right? You put these 2 guys together in a team, they can actually do some damage and work out pretty well, especially against teams who doesn't protect against burn and bleed. So you can be able to kind of put a rotation together and be able to use them. Now, if you have a heavy damage dealer, okay, that has splash damage, such as a Cutthroat 2 Toon, right? You definitely want Christmas Carol to be in that team. Why? Because Christmas Carol is going to give camouflage, so that damage does not reflect back on your whole team. So there are some combinations that you could use here that's really going to help out. Now, Denise, why is Denise here? Denise is still a strong toon, but we've had so many new defensive meta toons that have come into the game. Denise is probably what, 6 months old, 8 months, 7 months old, or if that. Maybe I'm tripping, but the meta has been shifting so fast, which is why she's been pushed down on this tier list. Another good one is Thanksgiving Dale. Thanksgiving Dale gives elusive to your teammates, to his teammates and everything, you know. So when you attack somebody on the defensive side, you know, or I'm sorry, when they attack you from the defensive side, you know, they won't get any AP, so it helps stop rushes. Laura is here as well too. Laura is still a very, very good toon. You use her to pretty much set up 99% of your turn one offensive teams and everything. And we have Georgia here. Georgia used to be a S+ ranked toon, but she kind of fell off because, you know, there are other, you know, toons that come in and give normalize and everything. So we do have Deputy Carl here. Deputy Carl can be as high as the S+ tier list. He can be very good in specific setups, you know, so you definitely want to keep that in mind. And Gunna Andrea, those two work pretty much well in a tandem, you know. And we have Jane here. Jane can be as high as the S tier list as well too, and so is Magnificent Mirabelle. Just depends on the setup that you're using them in. These characters can be pretty strong. Easter Jesus as well in certain setups, you know. If you're running him behind, you know, let's say a Clementine lead, you know, that gives that boosted HP, and you know, you have a Morgan Unhinged with him in a team, and they could kind of feed off of one another, you know, as well too. So you kind of got some different setups that you can be able to put together and run pretty well. Slasher Alpha's on this list as well. Now for the S tier list rank, Carl is up here, and I know some may disagree with Carl being up at the S tier list. I think he could be a little bit higher, but I'm gonna tell you the reason behind Carl, and that is Carl has a very unique ability to where when you take out somebody on a team on the defensive side, another toon can actually be rezzed, you know. So that kind of plays into it, and if you're not decapping them, you know, that can work as well too. And Carl can be able to hold a absolute defense weapon. He revives too and everything like that when he rushes. So he does have some very strong viability, and like I said, if you put him in certain setups, you know, a Clementine setup as well, you could put him behind a Slasher Alpha, and also too he protects against those burn and bleed teams as well too, because he reduces all damage over time for his teammates for 2 turns, so that helps out there as well. Off Duty Shane, not the meta leader for offensive lead toons, but he is still very good. That -35 defense could still put a defensive team together, shred yellows. So you kind of got a, you know, a feel of what this toon list is going to be like. Hannah can be a little bit higher as well too. She has become stronger with more premier toons coming out that do a lot of different things. On this list we have William Carver. My previous list, William Carver was higher, you know, but he has fallen down a little bit because there was a, you know, little tchotchke way you can put him on a defensive team and he would absolutely shred defenses. Now he still works in certain cases, but the Telltale teams absolutely gets annihilated now by lone wolves. And if you have the lone wolves and you're running them, they pretty much run through every team in almost every setup within the game and everything like that. We have Bloody Richards on here. S tier list, I know people may disagree. I like Bloody Richards because that hemorrhage too, it can be very strong if you know how to use it and be able to help your team out. It is a slower process, but it still works. So this is what we have here. And we have the new Lock toon, which is out right now to Gold Mythic Wheel. Definitely want to go get him. That Bodyguard too works very well. And we have Brawler Sandy on this list, who's in the wheel as well too. Now Brawler Sandy is strong. She is a one-shot toon where she can one-shot defensive toons, but there are ways to be able to get around her as well too. So you have to have the correct setup to be able to use her. So that is the S+ tier list there. All right, now we have the S plus rank tier list here. Okay, and on this S plus tier list rank here, we have Julie, Circuit, Thanksgiving, Sophia is still pretty strong. Negan, why is Negan up here? Okay, Negan is here because Negan gives focus, and you need focus. There's so much taunt and confuse out there. Negan be able to help Toons bypass that and everything like that. And he does a little bit of he does some main damage as well too. His HP has been boosted with his revised kit. Definitely a really good awakening toon. Next we have Glenn. I think Glenn is, to me personally, the strongest of the awakening toons. He's very good. Why? Glenn takes away AP from the defensive team. He also give AP to your team as well too. And with Glenn on a team, you can kind of set up a lot of turn one, you know, offenses as well too, with him and Laura on there giving those boosts and things of that nature. So you definitely have a good thing there. Sarge is still a very strong control toon. Definitely need him. Awakening Lily, she works really well. I know people may say, why do you have her this high? But for me, especially if you put her behind a Maggie lead, you can kind of dwindle down the HP of a team, because Maggie is going to help with that reflect damage, and then you can come in with somebody like an Agent 46 with decap, or Winter Harrison or something of that nature, come behind and be able to take these guys out, you know, in that manner. So you can be able to do that. Raven is still good as well too, and so is Craig. So next on our list we have the Diamond tier list. Okay, the Diamond tier list is toons that is a step apart. Now I know you're saying, okay, why is Stripes up here? Stripes is here because of Towers and War. The tier list that I have here is based off War. If you have any ideas, let me know what you think down in the comment below, where you would place players and everything like that, place the toons. Definitely will include that into the next tier list. But Stripes is really good, and you need her for Towers. All right, and Towers are important when it comes to War. So now on this list we have Kyle. Rosie had an update. She is very strong. Laupo is still very strong. With the newer yellow toons that you have in the game, Laupo has had a resurgence. So like if you put Laupo stars on a team, and let's say for example you don't have focus, right, to be able to combat some of this stuff, you know, Laupo is going to taunt your toons. Stars is going to give the burn protection, and you know, Stars going to give shield as well as Guardian shield as well too, you know what I mean? So there's just a lot of different ways you can be able to do this, and then you put them behind, you know, a Davy lead. All right, and Davy gives that Halo first turn as well too. So if you're not decapping these guys, it just becomes an absolute nightmare, man. Defenses are very strong, but like I said, there's ways around it. So this is what we have here for our Diamond tier list. Okay, Anniversary Maggie is still the premier leader in the game for offense, and the reason why she's the premier leader in the game is because she helps with counter damage. Okay, that is her whole purpose in being in your team, so you definitely want to hold on to her. Roland is made a resurgence as well too. He is very strong in that Davy team. If you checked out my stream, you see I was going up against some of these Davy teams, and their defenses was they were very strong and everything like that. So on this Diamond tier list, we have Chance the Trader, Philip Blake, and They Wonder. They are a group. The Lone Wolves together are absolutely nuts, but these guys work well together. They may not work well separately in teams because they're gonna need each other to feed off. So that is the case there. Kyle still is one-shotting people. Luke is very strong. Luca is strong too. And Lethal Lydia is a very, very good toon that if you're new to the game, you can be able to get her from the market. She is, and I'm sorry, not the market. You can be able to get her from the Gold Mythic Wheel. So you definitely want to look into that. And Eris is Eris. Yes, there's ways to stop her, but she's still strong. And next we have our Platinum rank. All right. These guys are absolutely nuts. Morgan Unhinged, you have to leave the last. Officer Negan Kit is bananas. Okay, he is very, very strong. It's, you know, and people say, well, he's easy to take out. Yes, he's easy to take out if you have premium toons. But for people who don't have premium toons, you're not taking these guys out pretty easy. St. Patty's Day Rosita, very, very good. Still, Davy's up there. You know, new tunes come out. Davy has been moved back up to that platinum list. You know, Bite is there as well. Eva and Ghost, absolutely the best offensive tune in the game, hands down. You know, this not up for debate for me. I think that Eva and Ghost is very, very, very strong. We have Forsaken Michonne. And the reason why these guys are in platinum, because you can use them on teams outside of the Lone Wolves and they still do very, very well. And of course we have Jang up here and Mighty Hunter Zachary. These guys one shot any tune pretty much, especially Mighty Hunter Zachary. He one shots on offense and he's very good on defense as well too. I think, you know, we've had these Zachary tunes in the game and these guys have been OP. The other Zachary was OP in a bad way, but this Zachary is OP in a good way. You can definitely use him on both sides of the field and he is very, very, very good. Maybe I'll do a setup for him. But there you have it, man. This is the tier list. This is the war tier list, man. This is how things are going in war, the people and players that are being used. As you can see at the top, there are a lot of premium tunes and everything like that. For those who pay for the tunes, you have access to these tunes, the combinations you can put together. But let's look for ways to be able to get free to play active in some of these tunes, maybe one of them or such of that nature. So this your boy JustCMTexx. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Love you, RTS fan, man. Peace.